Have you tried MSC Cruises yet? Have the bad reviews scared you away? The cruise line has seen the reviews and has been making changes to the onboard experience. Things are changing for the best, and there's no better value in cruising right now than a weekend cruise on MSC. In this video, I will look at our weekend cruise on the MSC Divina, which costs us less than a hotel night in Florida. Stay tuned. Our weekend adventure began in Fort Lauderdale, where both hotels and flights were much more affordable than in Miami due to the spring break rush. We took an Uber from Fort Lauderdale to the cruise port in Miami, which cost us around $50. There was some confusion regarding the terminal location as it changed a few times, something that can happen, so don't stress if you experience the same. We ultimately sailed from a Norwegian cruise line terminal, which was easily identified by the large NCL letters when we arrived. Although our scheduled arrival time was 11:30 a.m., traffic delayed us and we didn't reach the terminal until closer to 1 p.m. Thankfully, the boarding process was smooth, taking only about 20 minutes. As a travel agent, I've encountered my fair share of issues with MSC Cruises before sailing. While poor customer service is common across many cruise lines, MSC is often the most challenging to deal with. Once on board, we headed straight to the reception desk to address several of the concerns we had.
We came to guest services to have cabins switched, so we put him in a balcony and we switched to an ocean view.
With a max capacity of 3,500 passengers, the ship was fully booked and sold out about 10 days before sailing. We tried adding a second passenger to BJ's cabin, but were told that the passenger manifest had already been sent to port, which meant no more changes. Most cruise lines allow name changes up to 48 hours, not MSC. To their credit, everyone at guest services was extremely helpful and friendly. We would visit the desk more often than usual, including after our initial first meal at the buffet, where security came and pulled BJ aside, took us back to guest services, and eventually escorted him off board due to not having proper documentation.
Our friend's been removed off the ship for lack of proper documentation. So we are waiting in the top deck right now, since this is the only area that we can get Wi-Fi service or internet service to see what is happening with him before he leaves.
Immigration eventually allowed him to come back on board moments before sail away. Not knowing the status of our friend BJ, who we all came to celebrate his 44th birthday on board, we went over to look at the cabins, starting with his cabin. A balcony cabin that cost $756 for the weekend sailing. MSC has beautiful ships, and their cabins are no exception. The bathroom is spacious and even features a bathtub, which is very rare in mainstream cruise lines. Next, we went to go look at our room, an ocean view cabin that cost a total of $459. This is an amazing deal considering that the hotel we stayed at before the cruise was going for over $800 a night during spring break. Joel wasn't impressed with the deal we got though. The ocean view felt like the most spacious cabin we've ever stayed in. The bed is far away from any electrical outlets, so if you need an extension cord like I did for my CPAP breathing machine, you can get one from the reception desk. They will charge you $30 for it and take the charge off when you return it. The bed linens are top quality. You will also have 2 beach towels waiting for you, which you can get clean ones daily from your cabin attendant.
This room is so spacious. Like, there's tons of walking space right here. I really love this.
Joel had never stayed in anything other than a balcony cabin, so having this much space in the cabin made his first time much easier. He spent very little time on a cruise in the balcony anyway, so the more we cruise, the less need we have to pay a premium for a balcony.
There's tons and tons of storage. This is pretty awesome. Look at all this. Over here. The safe and more shelves.
There's a stand-up shower instead of a bathtub in the Ocean View bathroom. There's also plenty of space in the bathroom. One common problem, not only in our bathroom, but throughout the cruise ship's public restrooms, was the strong odor of urine. I'm not sure if that's due to proper cleaning or just old pipelines.
This bathroom really stinks.
Most of them smell really bad. The muster drill began at 4:15 for us. You will need to watch a safety video inside your cabin and then use the phone in your cabin and dial 811 indicating that you watched the video. Then you'll head over to your muster station, which for us was the casino. The casino is a pretty good size. Look how beautiful it is. One thing you'll want to do if you forgot to do it via the MSC app is head over to one of these ATM machines to set up a credit card for your cabin. Unlike other cruise lines where you need to provide a credit card at the cruise terminal during the check-in process, MSC will let you board without doing so. You won't be able to buy anything on board until a credit card has been linked through one of these machines. It was time for dinner. One of the most debated things about MSC Cruises is the foods. Early reviews of MSC foods were horrible. As an Italian cruise line that catered to European taste buds, Americans weren't too fond of the food served on the cruises. MSC has been listening, and while other cruise lines have been cutting costs by purchasing lower quality foods, I'm looking at you, Royal Caribbean, MSC has invested great amount of money over the last 2 years to improve its food offerings. For dinner, there are 2 seating times. We had the 6 p.m. early time and made our way over to the main dining room, the Black Crab, which is a beautiful 2-story dining room. Seating here is very traditional cruise seating, which means you will be sharing a table with strangers, most likely, so bring your best personality to the table. I ordered a tomato soup as well as a meatball for appetizers, and both were just okay. The lasagna otherwise was very tasty, and then for desserts, I had chocolate cake and cheesecake. Desserts, especially cakes, are often a letdown for me on most cruise lines, but these were rich and full of flavor. Going to dinner at 6 p.m. allowed us to catch the late shows at 9 p.m. at the Pantheon Theater. With a capacity of 1,600 people, the theater always had available seats during our sold-out sailing. The theater not only looks very modern, but it's pretty stunning with its red-themed seating. Keep in mind that the MSC Divina will typically update all its venues with new carpeting and decor every 3 to 5 years. Brasil! It was a nice surprise to see that the cruise director for our sailing, Endrigo Martin, was also the cruise director for our first MSC cruise on the MSC Magnifica the year prior. How is everybody doing this evening? The show the first night was based on music of the Beatles. It's really early. It's like 6:30 in the morning. So far, I've been really impressed with the ship. Everything looks clean, top-notch, beautiful. Food has been good from what I've had. And so now we're going to get some coffee. As an Italian company, MSC has great coffee on board. The company uses Italian coffee, Sigafredo Zanetti. MSC has by far the best coffee, free coffee on board. And while the coffee served at the buffet is good enough, I prefer the extra caffeine kick from the premium blend. What time do you start your shift in the morning?
I start 5:30 in the morning.
What time do people start coming out here?
6:30.
6:30?
This one is 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Every day.
So the fun part about making these YouTube videos is sometimes you have to sacrifice part of your trip and get up really early. So it's like 6:15 around the ship and just there's no one around. But this allows me to film most of my B-roll with no people in the background. While you can get coffee throughout the ship, we would get most of ours at Piazza del Doge, an area that is like a Venetian square. You can find shopping, free pastries, and sandwiches available here. Gelato is also available for purchase, as well as live music throughout the day. I made my way over to the buffet early at 7:14 in the morning to find a mostly empty place. Breakfast selection had your basic breakfast staples, including an omelet station, and fresh fruit was always plentiful. In fact, I think the buffet has more healthy options. There's even smoked salmon, lots of veggies, fruits. There's so many healthy options. And less of the high-fat, high-sugary items that us Americans love. I had to go over to the children's section at the buffet to find donuts and other sugary items. More food over here, Oriental Delights. So look at this, there's Asian food for breakfast. Everything's like egg, sausage, meat, yogurt. Even though the selection for breakfast was very limited, I did enjoy breakfast and found the scrambled eggs to be perfectly done. While the buffet area was pretty empty when I ate, I did come back later to join Joel and BJ and found a monster of a line of people waiting to get into the buffet. Breakfast is available in the main dining room, but it ends at the insane time of 9 a.m. We are in Nassau, Bahamas. Normally a place I would just stay on board. But we have really nice weather out here, and there's some of the other ships coming right behind us. Currently on deck 14 where the buffet is at, and it looks like there's an adults reserved area upstairs and the garden pool. Oh wow, this area is really nice. Look at this. So this is the adults only area. It's really nice. There's an aft facing pool which always has a great view. Plenty of loungers and stuff up here. Just a really good spot to be on the ship. The pool is a really good sized pool. Everything's well maintained. Everything looks brand new here. This is really great. Basketball area. It looks like it could also double as a pickleball court with seating over here. And let's look over here. It looks like there's some hot tubs. Yeah, so there's a really good sized hot tub over here and just more seating up here. I'm not sure if this is this is called La Prue. I stumbled on this place which looks like it could be used like for a conference room or different workshops. Let's see if I can get out of here. Let's see where this leads. Ooh, so this must be the nightclub. Look how pretty this is. Wraps around, lots of seating. So this is like a very intimate club space. Not exactly sure what this is so far. This is actually a specialty restaurant called Galaxy that serves sushi and then turns into the ship's nightclub afterwards. There's also a steakhouse on board that you can go for an added cost. I bet this club looks really nice at night, but it's really large and everything looks really neat and clean and brand new. The last ship that we were on, the Magnifica, this club was purple and over here the color scheme is red. So this is just a weekend cruise. It leaves Friday night, it comes back Monday morning. It's a great opportunity, especially for locals, to take some time away and not have to miss any work. I'm trying to get as much of this ship as I can in this short amount of time I'm here, and I am lost. I'm not sure how to get out of here. In addition to the pool located on the aft of the ship, there's two more pools located midship. The main pool is flanked by some loungers, several hot tubs, and from a distance what appears to be a lazy river. So this water is just for looks. You can't get in this water. And this is where they have, I'm assuming, the white party tonight, which should be a lot of fun. The other pool is indoors. This is the solarium area. It's covered, so you can always get a soak, even during cold weather. This area was always empty on a short cruise, but it looks amazing at nighttime. We're about to get off the ship in Nassau, and we're considering two different beaches. There's Junkago Beach, which is walking distance from here. It's just really, really crowded, but there's a lot of facilities. And the other one we're thinking about is Cable Beach, which is about a 15-minute cab ride. There's no facilities, but there's also no crowds. So once BJ's here, we'll discuss which one we're going to go to. So we are going to go with Junkago Beach, which is walking distance. We chose it because of the facilities. For many cruise veterans, Nassau, the capital of the Bahamas, is often considered a stay-on-board port for several reasons. First is the limited time in port. Cruises often have a limited amount of time at each port, and Nassau can sometimes feel like a quick stop. Passengers might not have enough time to fully explore the island. Second, there's a high number of cruise passengers. Nassau can get very crowded, especially during peak tourist season, as it is a popular destination for cruise ships, and there can be up to 6 ships docked at one time. Excursions. Next, there's the expensive short excursions. While Nassau has some beautiful attractions, some visitors feel that the short excursions can be expensive or not what they're expecting. Visiting a resort like the famous Atlantis will cost you $180 just to enter, and that's without the food, which is extremely expensive. Next, there's port fatigue. Nassau is the second most visited and common cruise port in the Caribbean, right behind Cozumel, Mexico. Many people have visited Nassau many times and feel like staying on board is the best option, which brings us to the final reason Nassau is considered a stay-on-board port, and that is ship amenities. There's the water slide. We're gonna have to try that. It's up here. This is called the Aqua Park. Since weekend cruises are the hottest thing right now, cruise lines are moving some of their best ships, like Utopia of the Seas from Royal Caribbean, to shorter itineraries where Nassau is one of the stops. These cruises tend to sell for a premium, and the onboard experience can be so great that passengers decide to stay on board and have the ships to themselves rather than visiting a port like Nassau. There's no lack of opportunities for them to take your money on here, is there?
No.
There's shops after shops.
Reminds me of Honolulu.
This is Junkago Beach, and this is what it looks like with 6 cruise ships. And it is like 10:30 in the morning. As we were trying to find a place to sit down, we were bombarded with people trying to get us to pay for loungers. It was really hard to know who worked for what businesses the whole time, and the push from salespeople were intense. Everything sold here was extremely expensive. That drink was $20, and this non-alcoholic drink was $15. Oh, my pineapple! And then BJ's was $15 also. The water, though, was beautiful, even though this beach felt very small. After a few hours on the beach, we made ourselves back to the ship for lunch. The buffet was not crowded, but you might be asking yourselves, where are the desserts? So what? All the food for the buffet for lunch is back there. You have to walk all the way to the back to see desserts. So you go through all these empty stations, all the way to the back. The desserts they have at the buffet are so much better than most other cruise line desserts in the buffet, so it's worth checking out. This cake was moist, delicious, and you can tell it was made from scratch. Look how pretty this spa is. I was really looking forward to visiting the spa on the Divina. I did a status match online from another cruise line, which gave me MSC Gold status. The status gives you 1 hour at the thermal spa. I'm not sure how much it costs, since the prices tend to fluctuate, but I would have been disappointed paying for this. The area is very tiny, with 4 hot saunas and 2 steam rooms, one which did not work. This is one of the steam rooms, and unfortunately, it is not working. And the second one barely worked. That's a shame. I looked around looking for a wet area in the spa that was included, and there wasn't one. I did find a hot tub that was part of a paid service. So it looks like there's these like spa baths that you can rent for privacy, and this one was just used. It was time for our second night of dinner, and we were already having a blast with our new cruise friends, Miss Betty and her family. For dinner, the Caesar salad looked like it was dying, but the rest of the food looked and tasted great.
Your audience, your fans are waiting.
The show the second night was by far my favorite. It is called Rouge and is based on the Moulin Rouge movie. After the show, we made our way to the buffet for a late night bite. I'm sorry, this is the end of the discussion. MSC has the best pizza at sea. After all, you would expect an Italian company to do pizza well. Have you had MSC pizza? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. We went to dance off the pizza at the one party you must not miss, the White Night, which will take you through different musics from around the world.
To Africa! Alright, we're gonna go 4 times.
And I'm not sure if it's the high number of Latins on board from Florida, but they sure turn up the heat for this dance party. It's a pretty ship. When my best friend of 25 years, BJ, said he wanted to go to Puerto Vallarta for his birthday, I told him I couldn't go away for that long and could do a weekend trip instead. Knowing that he's not a big fan of cruising, I showed him this picture and asked him if he would like to go here, a private island 45 minutes from Miami, and he said yes. During our first cruise on MSC, we met multiple people on board that said they were on the cruise just to go to MSC Ocean Key, and after spending a day there on the ship previously, I know how beautiful this place is. There are shuttles that will take you to different parts of the island, but on this visit, there were only 2 in service.
It's been a really long wait for the train so far. We're at the front of the line. We've been waiting over 30 minutes. There's only 2 of these carts running around.
I've already done a full video on Ocean Key in my channel. I've linked that video here. If you want to see all the different spots on the island or which areas to avoid due to the sharks that are stuck swimming on this island, then check out that video. There's 200 full-time residents in Ocean Key that keep the island in pristine shape. MSC signed a 100-year lease on Ocean Key in 2015. And has spent about $500 million to turn an industrial wasteland into an exclusive destination for their passengers.
But before it could open for guests, MSC had to completely transform the 103-acre island, taking the island from this to this.
The island was completely designed with the guest experience in mind. There was nothing there.
We made our way to Bimini Beach on the northern part of the island. I think this area has a great mix of stunning beaches as well as facilities nearby, and the families with children stay away from this side of the island. The burgers and brownies available for free nearby were top notch, but don't wait until the last minute.
What's your brownie?
We had another long wait for the trolleys before we were able to catch one on the way back. We rushed to the cabin and got ready for the final night on the ship. Taking pictures with the ship's officers and crew was a popular event the final night. The line to take pictures wrapped around, but they went through and finished once everyone got their pictures. The ship held an Italian-themed dinner the last night. Everything was delicious, but the chicken parmesan was my favorite meal of the whole cruise. The dinner ended with a fabulous dance party featuring the waitstaff, which was a lot of fun. Afterwards, we took some pictures with our new friends from the cruise. Getting to vacation with a group of people for a few days is one of my favorite parts of cruising. We made our way to the top of the deck for a magical evening featuring the lighthouse lights display, and checking out the ship lit up at night. It's morning of disembarkation on MSC Divina. It's been an absolutely wonderful cruise. Throwing away how much it cost, it's such a great deal.
For the money, you can't beat MSC Cruises.
The food is absolutely delicious. It's clear that MSC is spending a lot of time and attention to improve its food quality, especially the desserts were so sweet and amazing compared to most other cruise lines. I really love that.
The food was great, both at the buffet and in the main dining room.
The ship is well maintained, even though it's going to a dry dock soon. It's crazy that they're sending it to dry dock. Entertainment was great.
Clientele was great. Everybody, with this being more of a spring break, there were a lot of families, but everybody was really well behaved.
Clientele was amazing. Customer service was amazing. The issues that came up were quickly resolved with a smile.
All the staff was really great. The ship has a great layout.
I just can't recommend this enough for anyone that's looking for a budget quick getaway, especially on a weekend cruise. I can't wait to try MSC for a 7-day cruise, especially those that stop at Ocean Key for 2 nights. Ocean Key was the highlight.
And being able to stop at Ocean Key in the Bahamas is the best part. It's one of the best private islands in the Bahamas.
MSC is going to be a name that everyone in the cruising industry is going to know in the next couple of years. It is such a great value and a great product. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe this channel. And if you're interested, here is a full review of MSC's Ocean Key. Stay tuned.